Lightbone and Spada highlighted there were 12 popular ideas about language learning that were raised between fact and opinion. And in this video, all of them are summarized briefly one by one. So, let's get started. The first idea is, language is mainly learned through imitation. In fact, imitation is not the main way to learn language, because sometimes students are able to create a beautiful sentence that they have not heard before. However, imitation is still important to develop proficiency of pronunciation and intonation. Second, parents usually correct the children when they make a grammatical error. In fact, when the children reach a school age, parents often give correction on the standard speech that they hope the children will outgrow. Parents tend to focus in meaning rather than form when they correct student speech. Third, people with high IQs are good language learners. In fact, research has shown that learners with a wide variety of intellectual abilities can be successful language learners, especially if the skill access are oral communication skill rather than metalinguistic knowledge. Fourth, the most important factor in second language acquisition is motivation. In fact, motivation is not the most essential factor which defines someone's success in learning language. Even those who are highly motivated in learning still encounter difficulties in improving their language mastery. In a group of highly motivated people, there are always those who are more successful than others. This is sometimes due to the difference in language learning aptitude and in how the instruction interacts with individual learner styles and preference to learning.
At earlier age, children have a good brain plasticity to absorb any language input. We don't need to worry that the student will lose their first language. If the environment and the exposure of the student is good, the earlier the student learns a second or foreign language will possibly have the native-like performance. Errors frequently happen to second or foreign language learners. The interference from their first language is one of the causes. However, it is not the only major problem or the most mistake of error happen in second or foreign language learner. Presenting grammatical rules one at a time will not make learners enjoy the learning. Instead, they will feel that learning second or foreign language is a torture since what they are learning is always about structures. It is relatable, isn't it? Related to the teaching of linguistic forms, the learner should be taught the simple one before the complex one. The teacher should also consider the psychological and cognitive aspects of the learners.
Number 9. Teachers should correct learners' errors immediately or else it will be a bad habit. This is correct. The reason is, learners need to learn from their mistakes. However, we need to pay attention to the learner's characters. For example, when it comes to adult learners or mature learners, they value direct feedback so that they can understand the specific thing they need to change to make it right. On the other hand, younger learners value indirect feedback because they are prone to giving up. And when we give them indirect feedback and constructive feedback, they are more motivated. And then next, number 10, teachers should only expose or teach students the language structure that they already know. This is false. students need to be challenged. The reason is because students tend to be more motivated through challenges. And we, as teachers, we need to help students grow. When students have mastered a certain language structure, it's time for them to level up. For example, if a student already mastered the beginner level, then we need to start teaching them about the intermediate level, and then after the intermediate level, we need to teach them a more advanced level. And then next, number 11, learners should be able to interact freely to learn each other's mistakes. This is somewhat true. Yes, through interacting with other learners, they will be able to improve their communication skills, but pay attention to each other proficiency level. When we want to pair a student to interact with another student, we need to give them the similar proficiency level. If we give them a more advanced level, there's a possibility for them not to understand each other, and if it's the same, then there's no room or there's no space for them to learn from each other because they are particularly the same. However, if we give them the similar proficiency level, they can understand each other, but at the same time they can correct each other and learn from each other. And then next and the last one, let me see. Oh, this one. Students learn from what they are taught. Is this true? This is false. The reason is because every student or every learner make their own choices. We can teach them a lot and we can teach them about different things, but if they don't want to learn or they don't have the willingness to learn, then it's their choice, and we can do our best, but the absorption of the materials, it depends on the learners. It depends on the learner's capability and the learner's willingness. That's it from me. Let's jump to the conclusion.